Hey, what's going on, guys? James here, and I don't know how long ago it was now, not too long ago. I asked in an annotation if you guys would like a kind of long, just video of me for a little while, and there was an overwhelming yes, so I thought, you know what, I will get around to doing that today. The reason I'm doing it today is, I'm not sure exactly how long it will be, but the reason I'm doing it today is because I am going away for a short little break as of tomorrow, just for 4 days, nothing big, nothing fantastic, just about an hour away from where I live to a forest. Yeah, you might be thinking that's weird. No, I've never done it before. But it's Easter, which means my girlfriend's off work because she is currently working as a primary school teacher. And I probably shouldn't tell you about her personal life, whatever. But yeah, and I thought I'll do the video before I pack. Obviously, this is more important and 10 times more interesting than packing. So, packing's one of those things that this video, by the way, is gonna be full of ramblings. Probably nothing important. Probably many things you didn't know. I might include some of my personal life in here. I might include what I think about some updates. I might include what I think about some things in general. Who knows? It will just go wherever it goes. I've never done a video like this before where I plan to do maybe like 45 minutes just talking. So we'll see how it works out. And hopefully, whilst we're doing it, we'll get some whips and I'll be a happy bunny. Okay, so I can't remember where I was at now. Packing. Packing for holiday. It's one of those things where even when I went last summer, if you guys have been subscribed to the channel for quite a while, you'll know that last summer I went on holiday. And I actually took a gap year, so right now I'm still on my gap year, from university, like in between university and going to work, a proper job, I wanted to take a gap year. Reason being was I never took one before university. I'd done school, then sixth form, and then university, and I'd never taken a break. And I thought, I want to take a break and go on a nice holiday. So that's what I did. I went on holiday with my girlfriend it was just a little over, I think, 4 weeks and a day, and I went to California. And even though I was going over 4 weeks, like, packing, I still did it on the morning I was supposed to be leaving at around 4 a.m. To go to London Heathrow. I don't know, it's something about packing. I'm just like, no, screw it, there's no way I'm packing in advance. So it'll be the same right now. I'll probably pack tomorrow morning, the second before I leave. You know, I'm male, and most males don't need to pack loads of products and crap. It's just like, grab some of your clothes and you're all good. Make sure you've got your phone charger. What else do you need? Your wallet. Like, standard man things, like, whenever you go anywhere. Wallet, keys, phone, reasonable clothing, and then obviously make sure you have your nice aftershave or deodorants, blah blah blah. Regardless though, yeah, I'll probably be doing that tomorrow morning. So let's move on to something about, alright, so live streaming. Let's talk about live streaming for a little while. I've been live streaming on Twitch over the last sort of week. It was ever since I got the 85 Slayer, so it's been well over a week. It's been a little while. You might be wondering why I moved to Twitch. Twitch has many advantages over YouTube, really. Number one, so here's the first thing. If I want to live stream on YouTube, then I have to set up a live stream on YouTube. Now, you might be thinking, surely that's easy. And you're like, kind of. It takes around, if you're really quick and you just quickly mash in the title and stuff, it will take you 5 minutes. And then you have to put all the encoding stuff, encoding figures into the live streaming software. And that kind of stuff, and you know, overall it takes a little while to set up, and it's just like a hassle. You might thinking that's not very much hassle, but it is. It's just annoying hassle, and it's like, it's one of those chores that you don't want to do. It's like if your mum asks you to empty the dishwasher. It's something that you'll do at the very end of when you have to do it. Like, you won't just do it straight away. You'll do it when you have to do it, because it's one of those things you just don't want to do. And it's the same with that with like setting up a live stream. It's just hassle. So that's where Twitch is like, you want to stream on Twitch? Press one button, done. That's it. That's how easy it is on the stream on Twitch. You open up your live streaming software and you click a button and you're live streaming on Twitch. And assuming obviously that you had all your settings already set up in terms of your XSplit, because it saves the settings you last had. So as long as your RuneScape window's in the same place, you're all good. Secondly, now this is a massive difference. Music. Now, my music is not to the taste of everyone. No, that's always going to be the case. But just to play music in general while I escape is something that I like to do when I'm not recording, etc., or not in a Skype call with someone. And so being able to play music while on Twitch as well, and so rather than having to constantly have some form of conversation, when you're not talking, there's music to kind of fill in that background noise, to fill in that kind of silence. It's just so nice. And some people do appreciate the music and the music taste, etc. And so it just works out really nicely. So music is a massive thing. And if you're wondering why you can play music on Twitch and not on YouTube, when you're partnered, I think they get hammered quite a lot by the music companies, and it picks up if you use a song in your video, and then you'll instantly get a strike for it. Then you can't live stream on YouTube at all. On top of that, you could get your partnership revoked, all that kind of stuff that you just don't want to happen. You could lose your channel after so many strikes, blah blah blah. On Twitch, they kind of just don't give a shit. I don't know, they don't care. They let you play music. You put the name of the song on the screen out of respect. You don't have to. You do it out of respect for the artist or whatever. If anything, they gain some popularity. Some people might go to iTunes or whatever else, Amazon, wherever you might buy music from, if you buy it, and download their song. You know, kind of might work out okay for them. But Twitch don't mind you playing music, so that's really nice. Other things about Twitch, things you can do with Twitch. You can if you want to play ads on Twitch. I typically never do. So when I did that live stream with 14,000 viewers, I didn't play any ads. Like, I'll only ever play an ad if I'm gonna leave the computer myself, because you know I do it for fun. So there is a button there to do that if you want to on Twitch, but I don't tend to ever really do that anyway. But you can't do that on YouTube live stream anyway. The chat, the mods in the chat, and just the chat works. It's like up to date and like live, whereas the YouTube chat is very volatile. No comments, lots of comments, no comments, lots of comments just like fly through all at once, that kind of thing. And the Twitch chat as a whole is just a much better experience. And then obviously not spamming out the channel. So if you want to live stream a lot, then you know, just spam out of your YouTube channel with endless live streams. And with Twitch, it's just like a different platform, so it's nicer. So they're my reasons for using Twitch for live streaming. So I don't know why I just told you about all my ins and outs of actually using Twitch, but then I'll talk about actually live streaming, what I actually want to live stream over the next few days, etc. So I'm going away for a few days. When I get back, like I said, it's only 4 days total I'll be gone for, so I'm not gone for very long at all. But when I am back, I wanted to start live streaming on my new account. My new account, you'll see its name. It's called Scooby-Doo as well. But I've got 55 mage on it. Born is doing the same on his account, Scooby Don't. We're going to do Barrow's Gloves together. And my plan with that account is to be one that this account I didn't really stream that much. Reason being is I wanted to power the 85 Slayer, just to achieve the goal of achieving it, blah blah blah. But let me just check. Might need to pot. Nope, don't need to pot yet. But I want to live stream a lot with my new account. Like, I want it to be pretty much fully live streamed, because it'd be interesting to see. I don't know, it'd just be interesting to do all the quests, and then you guys can join in with all the quests. If you don't have Barrow's Gloves, you can join in and get Barrow's Gloves with me and Born. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's interesting, that kind of thing. I'm just really looking forward to doing it. For when I do that, I'm going to do a schedule. So I'll put like a schedule of when I'll probably be streaming. Like, it won't be a guaranteed, but it'll be like, if you want to watch a stream, it's more than likely going to be at this time. And, you know, just a bit more of a routine and more of a schedule to it, so it's not random. The reason I want to do a schedule and stuff is because I don't want to have to upload videos to YouTube to say, like, I'm streaming on Twitch. Like, I know some people do that, and then you can just remove the video later date. And yeah, I might do that for bigger streams. Like, I'll probably do that when I re-get my fire cape. If you are wondering, James, why you're wearing a strength cape, it is because I lost my fire cape. Born was actually streaming on Twitch and doing some Dagonoth Kings, and he was doing solo mage, and me and a friend called Lewis, or Who the Hell 5, who is also 85 Slayer, were doing the hybriding, and my prayer is only level 52. And so it ran out fairly quickly, and I just wasn't paying attention, and I just got like one hit by the prime. It was my own fault. I did a trip since then and didn't die, which was nice. I didn't let my prayer run out at all, but obviously that was slightly annoying. I took the fire cape knowing that I was risking it, and I was more than happy to risk it. The reason I'm more than happy to risk it, because I know I can go back and melee another one fairly quickly, and I'm kind of happy to do another one. I kind of enjoy doing another one. I'd like to get one where the spawn isn't behind the Italy rock, so I can just like see if I can actually do that or find out how to lure it. I'll probably run around and just try and figure out if there is a way to lure it. I imagine there is. I imagine if I looked around on the internet hard enough, I could probably figure it out or find a guide of someone else doing it. But yeah. So I said I was going to live stream my cape. I was going to live stream it yesterday, and then I couldn't buy supplies in the morning. I've just been fairly generally busy. I've actually been busy recording quite a lot of Minecraft. So in the whole escapade of not doing many RuneScape videos, I've also done absolutely no Minecraft videos. And you know, this is obviously a RuneScape video, but if you were a fan of the the Minecraft channel, which there is a big overlap, I believe, between the two, because I get lots of inbox messages on my main channel and lots of comments on the main channel about it, so I imagine there is a fairly large overlap. Look at that, 3 lots of areas. Should probably pick them up, but nope, not gonna. I haven't picked them up from the start of the trip, so like if I haven't from the start, then I'm not gonna start now. Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, but I've been recording quite a lot of that yesterday and today for the few days on my way and stuff, so I kind of stopped, took a break from that, and then me and Kieran have been ready to continue with doing some Minecraft videos and stuff, and then just been waiting on Simon. He's been, I don't know, he's been kind of not in the mood really for YouTube stuff recently. You'll notice that a lot of the recent videos I've done was myself as well, on top of like his like spilling a whole cup of water on his PC. Amongst that and other things such as his mic, like ordering a new headset because his headset broke, and many things. I don't know. He just hasn't been that up for it. But you don't know. Hopefully, April will be a different month. Obviously, I'm going to at the start, but when I get back, I want to do kind of even split between Evolution of Combat videos and 07 videos. Now it's hard because I get a lot of messages, okay, saying you should make some Evolution of Combat videos, maybe make 50-50, and I'm like, okay, I would like to. In one sense, like in one hand I could, but on the other hand, when you're only playing the 07, it's hard to make an Evolution of Combat video. I'm not up with the latest updates. I only noticed today that Wilderness Warbands had come out. I looked on the homepage today and I was like, Simon, do you know Wilderness Warbands come out? He was like, yeah, it happened last Tuesday. I was like, or last Monday or something. I was like, I never knew, like I never, and like that is a problem. Like I can't make a video on it when I don't even know what's going on. On top of that, obviously the email came out telling everyone about the updates. Those who were premium members who paid for that gold membership, I believe. I didn't get that because I don't know. Kieran got it in his spam folder. Me nor Simon got the email altogether, spam folder or not. Kieran forwarded me the email, so I got to read it and stuff, and I was hoping to make a video about it with Simon later, but I was hoping to do it now, but then he wasn't around, so I decided to go with this video instead. I guess I won't talk about those updates that are in that, or sort of the imminent updates. Reason being is because I'll do it in another video. I don't want to repeat myself, but I guess this video, in a way, is more about me. So that kind of took me away from my train of thought again. I don't really know where I was. The 50-50 videos. So, like, it's hard to make Evolution of Combat videos when I'm only playing on the 07 server. And, again, like, on the 07 server right now, I'm playing on this account, and I'm only really... I can't really make progress videos or anything like that because I'm only really killing Abyssal Demons. Like AFK whenever I'm on my PC. That's all I'm doing. So it's nothing really interesting in terms of gameplay or content. I did a live stream the other day of Dagon of Kings, and I got a Seer's Ring and a circle to me, and then Bourne got an axe, which was pretty nice. It's pretty cool. But on the whole, it's nothing really spectacularly. Is that a word? Maybe. Nothing exciting, and so you know you can't really make videos and stuff when it's not exciting. Who wants to watch that? So moving on to other things in general. One thing I said I would talk about is when I first ever started playing RuneScape in general. It goes back a long way. Like, I've played RuneScape for a long time. I remember when I first ever played, I remember playing in Classic. Okay, I had an account. I'm going to name the account. I had this account. My account, yeah, I'm not even going to name it. It had the worst name ever. No, go with it. A few of my friends at school had the name, like, something, like, their name, as in, like, their, like, real-life name, and a space and then the word cool. I don't know why. That's, like, the worst name ever, but when you're, like, 10 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old... Now, how old was I, actually? Around 10, 11 years old. Like, over 10 years ago. That long ago. It's really been that long. I remember when I was around 14 years old thinking, Yeah, I'll probably play this game for like another 6 months and I'll quit. And then like, look at me here now. I've just had my birthday. It's weird. Me, Simon, Kieran, and Bourne all have our birthday within 1 week. And that's my phone. And can I mute that? There we go. I just got a new phone. Like my contract was ready for upgrade, and I've only plugged it in earlier today, so I have no idea like how to really work it. It's an Android, and I've never had an Android before, so I just pressed a button on the side and it's gone away. So I don't know what that did. I probably just hung up on my girlfriend. She's like, "Why did he put the phone then on me?" Now I need to pop. I'm kind of worried about Camtasia crashing. Whenever you record something like for a long period of time in Camtasia, it can easily crash. So I'll be depressed if this video crashes. Anyway, so a lot of my friends had their names as like their name space and then the word cool, and I was like, yes. Well, obviously my name's James. You guys know me as James. I prefer to be called James, but at school when I was younger, at least, a lot of people called me Jim. When I was younger, like I don't really like that name very much. Like I liked it when I was younger, and then when I was older, I much prefer the name James. So, like it was only when I was younger I was called that. But I had the name Jim Cool, and someone had taken it. So I had Jim with a double M, like Jim with a double M space Cool. And, like, that was the worst name ever. But I remember, like, one of my friends met me up in game. And this is when you had dial-up internet. Like, I had dial-up internet. Broadband wasn't... At this point, broadband wasn't even a big thing in the UK. It was, like, a very new and modern technology, which many people didn't have. So you had the dial-up internet where, like, to connect to the internet, you'd, like, press connect and you'd hear, like, the... beep... like that kind of era. It was that long ago. And I'd play on Classic, and... This was as well when if you have a sort of 21, 24 inch, don't worry, the word after it is not peanuts, it's monitor. If you have a 21, 24 inch monitor like nowadays, and you have it in the resolution of like 1080p, I think it's 1920 by 1080. I think that's like the default resolution you'd have on like a computer screen nowadays. Like, you try and play on like RuneScape Classic or even fixed on RuneScape. Fixed screen, it's so small. And like these are the days when you had those big CRT monitors. Like a flat screen monitor was unheard of. Like they had like those really kind of, if you see a flat screen monitor now and you're like, whoa, that is an old flat screen monitor. At the time, that was like the highest level of technology. Like one of those ones that you could like press the screen and it'll like change all the colors and go really dodgy. That was like the height of technology. Most people just had like a big CRT monitor that was as wide, like sizable, like front and back into the desk as it was like the screen size, width or height. Yeah, so those were interesting days. And on top of that, it meant that when you like played RS, it was like full screen regardless. Like if your PC was like in resolution of like, I think it's 1028. What is it? 1024 by 768. If it was in that, that was like, yes, your PC is good. Which is fairly hilarious. Simon's calling me on Skype now, but I'll decline that, and we'll continue with this for a little while. Let me just quickly type to him. There we go. I said I would do 20 more minutes. 20 more minutes. All right. So those are the days when like you can play in full screen. Like right now, I run one of my monitors in 800 by 600. So when I play on fixed screen, like right now, I'm looking at a 24-inch monitor, and it's in like full screen. And like just because when you have it in like the normal resolution and you try and, because I have two monitors for the live streaming purpose, because live streaming with only one is almost impossible, and so when you have two and you can do that, it just means you can play in full screen, because it's almost unviewable to me otherwise, because my monitors are quite far back. But so I had the name Jim Cool. I remember logging in and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but one of my friends, like, what I did was I went and chopped a full invent of logs, and I was like, yes, full invent of logs. This was obviously in Classic, and one of my friends who was like 56 combat, something crazy, came over and I tried to trade in them all, and like I said, I wanted money, and he just kind of laughed at me and he said, look, if you're gonna play this game, me and Simon, he said to us both, like, the thing you want to do in this game to start with is mine and Smith. That's like, they'll be like your best friends. I've got a plant over there. I don't even bother picking them up anymore. I just run away from them. There we go. Bye-bye, plant. like he said, mining and smithing will be your best friend if you want to like progress and make some money and stuff. And I was like, okay, mining and smithing. This was also at the time when at school everyone would be talking about like, oh, like in my class everyone would be like, yeah, you play RuneScape, it's really fun. And then Simon would be like, oh, I want to play, and everyone would be like, yeah, it's called RuneScape. He'd be like, oh, how do you spell it? And he'd be like, ROONSCAPE. And Simon would go home, and then like he'd go home, try it. The next day he was like, I just couldn't find the game. Like, little did you know, if you just Googled it, now this was before it was on Miniclip, or like years before it was on Miniclip or anything like that. If he had just Googled it or something, he would have probably found it straight away. But Simon was obviously not so bright back then. He was a noob. And like, we all found it absolutely hilarious that we were just owning Simon because he couldn't play, because he thought it was spelled ROON. I remember as well, he like called me, and this was the days when like you called each other on a house phone. The like mobile phones, like if I would want to call Simon now, like when I lived in my apartment, I've like just moved home very recently, but when I lived in my apartment, I didn't even have like a house phone. Like, cause like, why even have a house phone nowadays? Like, even if you want to call numbers, the like premium rate numbers, you can even just get it into your price plan that like for £1 or £2 a month, you can have unlimited access to like the 0870 numbers, all that kind of stuff. Like, that's obviously for UK. I imagine it'd be different in America, but nowadays, obviously, you call on a mobile phone. These are the days when you didn't even have a mobile phone. You had to call on the house phone, like a landline. Not like a cordless phone either. No. Like the full out, plugged into the wall, bulky old phone. Like, I'm making myself sound way too old. But, you know, I imagine, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, I lived through these days as well. But there are probably a lot of people in this, watch this video, maybe, like, 15, 16 years old, maybe. And they have no idea. Like, that's quite a long, like, those, 6 years difference or whatever, and how old you are. That, like, makes a huge difference in, like, how fast technology, mobile phones, all that kind of stuff just moved on. Look how far that teleported me. But, like, he called me and he was like, James, I'm trying it right now at my computer, like, and I'd be like, yeah, just try it. I can get it to work. You just go to, like, the URL, obviously Internet Explorer, because we're all noobs, ROONSCAPE, and, like, he was like, it just doesn't work for me, it doesn't load, and it was, like, beyond belief funny, and I remember we all used to laugh at Simon. Regardless, though, when Simon did eventually find out that it was called RuneScape, and he made his first account, I won't give out his username, like, I have all my first accounts and stuff, I have them all already as well, so, like, I still have them all and that kind of stuff, but when we both made our accounts, one of our friends was like, okay, yeah, so get on with the mining and that kind of thing, and so that's genuinely all we did. Like, me and Simon raced till we get to the mining guild, and then we got into the mining guild, all we did was, like, mine coal, and that was it. That was practically it, like, very low combat, and we mined ore for a long time. I remember then just like not playing the game very much at all for a very long time. So then didn't play whatsoever because some people at school had kind of stopped playing or talking about it, and I'd done the same and just moved on. So that was all good until I reckon it might have been around maybe a year and a half later, maybe a little, no, probably more than that. I don't really know, I'm not too sure, but my brother, for his birthday, my dad bought him his own computer. And at this time, we had broadband, and I went into his room, and he had found the game called RuneScape. And I was like, oh, I used to play this. But at this point, it was RuneScape 2. It was like the RuneScape that it wasn't the RuneScape we know today, but it was kind of like this game that I'm playing and recording right now. It had moved on a lot. You weren't in this kind of strange 2D. It was like 2D, wasn't it? Like classic. It had moved on a lot, and I was like, oh, this looks pretty fun. And my brother was just killing chickens. That's all he was doing. And I remember that I used to mine coal. Like, that's all I used to do, was mine coal. Like, going through the places, like, before school, I'd log on and try and mine some coal at, like, Barbarian Village. I think there's, like, 4 coal rocks there, if I remember correctly. And just, like, racing against Simon. I remember Simon as well made himself 1,000 steel plates from scratch. Like, could you imagine doing that now? That'd be so boring, making 1,000 steel plates. But, like, back then, I was like, yes! Like, it was, like, the best feeling ever. It was absolutely crazy. And then I remember, like, my brother playing it. I told Simon my brother was playing it. And then from there, we had, like, a whale of a time, like, started playing again. And that was when I started, like, James's merchanting phase. I used to stand in World 1. I used to buy ores, bars. And I was a member. And so, like, I worked up to what I trained at White Wolf Mountain for, like, so long. That was the best training spot I knew, White Wolf Mountain. And, like, I wasn't alone. There was plenty of players there. And, like, we'd all group up to kill the big wolf, training at White Wolf Mountain to get my attack up. And eventually, I got 60 attack. And this was the point where, obviously, I was very young still. My mum promised me that if I got level 60 attack, like, she said if I actually got level 60 attack, because I told her, like, all about it, she said she would let me have 1 month's membership. I was like, oh! So, trained to 60 attack. My mum really shouldn't have encouraged me. I got 60 attack, and she bought me the 1 month's membership, and with that I could then use the forums. So I was going around like World 1 buying coal 150 each, buying like myth bars 1k each, and then I'd wait until I had like a lot of it and I'd sell it in bulk on the forums, and that was kind of like my money making. And I did that for a very long time, as did Simon. Simon would go around Noob Worlds because he wasn't a member, buy coal for 100 each at Valley Bank, and then I would buy it off him for 150 each, so he thought he'd made bank, but I obviously was selling it on in massive bulk for like big forum prices, because I know RuneScape is one of those things where it works against like the way of the real world in a sense. Like, if you buy stuff in bulk in the real world, you usually expect to pay a discount for buying in bulk. Whereas in RuneScape, because you haven't had to go through that menial task of buying like 10 from every player, like in every world, you pay a nice premium for the whole bulk order. I'm sure there is a real life example of which you do the same thing, but I can't think of it right now. I can't think of anything. Nothing springs to my mind. So fast forward a few years, I remember Slayer coming out. I thought Slayer was the worst skill ever. Then look at me now. Like, I was first to 85 Slayer. I don't know why. I just thought it was a terrible idea when it was first released. I never did it though. That was the thing. Me and Simon saw that there was a new skill like on our stat bars. Simon was still a non-member at this point because his mum would like we didn't have our own credit cards, our own debit cards, our own PayPal accounts. We were like very young. And so we couldn't pay for membership, so it was like up to our parents to pay the membership for us. So like my mum had to use her debit card to pay membership. Game cards in like Sainsbury's, blah blah, any shop, Walmart, whatever the hell you might buy yours, that didn't exist. That wasn't even an option back then. And Simon's mum was like, "It's a scam." And Simon was like, "Oh," and like she just kept telling him it was a scam. And he went to the extent that he set up his own Barclays bank account at like the age of like 13 or something stupid, to with his, I think he got his dad to help him set it up or something so he could get his own membership. Like, had to pay for himself because his mum would just like refuse to ever even like type her details in online or whatever. Like a typical, it's like my mum's the same. Like, won't type in any details online because it's just a scam unless it's like Amazon, which is like true. You do have to be very careful what you do. You know, most things that are reputable are secure or whatever. But like you should always obviously play it safe. So merchanting was like a massive thing, and then like I can't remember much else of what I did on the game. I tell you what, it feels very strange I'm just kind of talking about random memories I have to nobody. It feels kind of strange. Like I have no like in a live stream I have comments to people ask me questions about it or like look at or see. I have no comments to look at or anything, so it's kind of weird just carrying on. It's like, am I boring? Should I stop? Should I talk about something else? Should I continue? I have no idea. So I'm just gonna continue. Obviously, if you found it boring, you would have stopped watching by now. Not that people do. I mean, you can write EOC in a video title and people still come and bitch that it's Evolution of Combat and not an 07 video. It baffles me, I know. So, I mean, if someone was bored, I wouldn't expect them to leave because God, I don't want to say anything to offend. God knows they're too stupid, obviously, to click away. I have no idea. But, you know, like, it's an understandable point. People do somehow make that mistake where they still, even though it's been out for over 5 weeks, moan that if someone uploads like an Evolution of Combat video or I should just call it the live game. I really don't like calling it Evolution of Combat or anything like that because it's just a live game and it's just it is like what RuneScape is right now. It's just the live RuneScape game as opposed to the old school RuneScape game. But, you know, EOC has kind of been given, like, its title has been given as EOC. That's what most people call it. Reason being, I guess, is because EOC was just such a big change to the game, and they just so undertested and badly implemented. But no, enough about that. I've kind of lost where I was. But then the next kind of phase that I can remember was when the Grand Exchange was released. Obviously, this is jumping quite a bit into the future. A lot of playing and not playing. Actually, no, before then, was a massive part of, like, when I used to PK. So my brother at this point, having been like a WoW player as well and stuff, the only thing he was interested in was PKing. That was all he was interested in, PKing and staking. Whereas I took the game for like merchanting, leveling up stats and that kind of thing. He only wanted to PK. And like I obviously enjoy PKing a lot as well. I just enjoyed the other things that she didn't a lot more than he did. So PKing. At this point, Varrock PKing, people like, I think the most famous people I can remember are something called like the Boomer Twins. They were PKing a lot around this time, and it was mainly just Varrock PKing. Varrock PKing was a fairly prominent thing. A lot of people did it. They would use the altar on the way to the Varrock Wilderness, bank at Varrock East Bank, and it was only kind of after the GE came out that kind of really just disappeared. Like, after Bounty Hunter and the Wilderness had come back, it kind of didn't exist anymore. But back in those days, it really did exist. Another thing that really existed in those days was obviously the World 2 Falador, mainly because World 1 was always Varrock, and then World 2 was Falador, because that was the first members world, and everyone traded at Falador. Everything had its place, just like it does in World 1 Varrock now. Obviously, some things are still maybe sorting themselves out slightly into areas. I've always found it so strange how... Sorry, I do go off topic, and you just have to expect that. I kind of found it so strange how things just adjust. Like, okay, so let's... Like, just imagine this, okay? I always try and think about how it happened in my head randomly, because I have these strange thoughts, I guess, where I'm like, let's say the day the server was released, like, some people had some ores, some people had some logs, and some people had some ores, logs, and some people had some fish, yeah? And they went to World 1, everyone was in Varrock. I'm guessing Varrock because at the point of no tellies, it was more accessible from Lumbridge. I don't know why everyone kind of reverted to Varrock. So, my main reason, okay, I'm guessing, is because a lot of people are just used to the idea of the Grand Exchange is the main trading place in World... Was it still World 2? I'm not even sure. World 1, World 2, whatever, in the current live game. And as a result of that, everyone kind of coming into 07 went to Varrock. Now, if you ever played old school, you'd know that if you went to Varrock in World 2, it was fairly barren. The place that everyone was trading, like absolutely everybody, was Falador and Falador Garden, between the bank and the whole garden. All the way down to like the pond area where Barrowzan was sold, all the way up to the top where people would sell treasure trail items, you know, all the way to the side where people would sell party hats, dragon chains, whips, and then like across to like the bank area, people would sell herbs, potions, all that kind of stuff. And I'm guessing it is just the influence the Grand Exchange has had in the game of being that central place, which has meant that in 07 Scape or old school RuneScape, everyone kind of trades at Varrock. But back to the example, okay? There's some people with some fish, some people with some logs, and some people with some ores. Now, those people go to Varrock, let's just say, because it's the busiest place, because people are used to trading there, and they start just say they're selling it. And eventually, somehow, like, the thing that is crazy in my mind is how, like in a way, let's think, I might have defined where Abyssal Whips were sold in World 1. Like, I might have actually defined kind of where you'd buy an Abyssal Whip. And that was, like, the place where they're sold is just because where people traded the most kind of valuable items. That's why people were selling DFSs and stuff, Robins, Rangers, and so they clearly had the most money, so it was the most sensible place to try and sell one. But those ores and logs, how do people group together? So they were like, if I'm selling herbal supplies, I'll go just to the west side of the bank. Like, how did people kind of group up and, like, think, like, how easy on day one that would have been to not have been there? It's hard to explain, like, how small of an action maybe some group of people may have had to make to, like, change that spot completely from day one. It just, in my mind, that just, like, baffles me. I find it, like, just crazy. I don't know. You might have absolutely no. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about, because I barely do myself. But just like the way a spot is defined, because a couple of people at the start were selling something at that spot, and maybe some more people selling the same item were like, screw it, I'm going to gather next to him. Maybe this is the spot to sell that item. And eventually it's kind of worked into this pattern where if I want to buy runes, I go to the east of the bank. Everybody knows that. And that's just how it's worked out. Even though, obviously, like, in like the actual 07, it was a completely different place altogether. It was just south of the Falador bank. No, sorry. It was just west of the Falador East Bank, if that makes sense. Anyway, moving on. So PKing. PKing of a rock was like a fairly popular and big thing, and a lot of people did it because it was multi-combat over there. Now, like, that obviously changed and died out. I'm not even sure if in old school RuneScape, Varrock PKing still exists at all, but Varrock PKing, that's something me and my brother did big time. So we made new accounts. We got myth gloves, did everything that we needed to do. At one defense, we both had 60 attack, we both had Dragon Dagger, Dragon Skimmy, we both had 85 strength. I think I had 86 strength, my brother had 85, and then we kind of flipped a coin. He got 82 mage, and 94 is a really big step. He got 82 mage, and Ancients, he did the quests and the stats for Ancients. The main thing that holds you back from Ancients is just 53 thieving, because that's just... It's not enjoyable getting 53 thieving, or at least not to me. And I went for the level 85 mage. And between us, we'd go to Varrock with a DDS, that was it. We like Monk's Robe, some food, some prayer pots, some super attack and strength, and we'd have an absolute whale of a time. If we were going to go deep boarding, my brother would take an Ancient Staff, we'd both take a D Skimmy, we'd have Teddy Block, Blitz, like if we're going to go up to Giants, like PKing, walking up to Giants was like a really popular thing. We have some friends, we had like many friends around the area as well we could PK with. You'd have like Dark Bow Pures around there, you try and drop them as fast as you physically could. Like, I'd move my computer to his room and we'd be like, right, 3, 2, 1, like, step in, blitz and TV at the same time, both run over DDS spec, and hopefully he's lost his Dark Bow because it was just like so instant, he just wasn't protecting item at the point he went into the wilderness to not waste prayer. And, you know, we had a few, we actually had a few Whip PKs, we had a few Dark Bow PKs, like hundreds and hundreds of Dragon Daggers, and selling that stuff was obviously, like, horrible. You're like, no, I don't want to sell it all. It's, like, the worst thing ever. But, like, that was some of the most fun I've ever had playing RuneScape. Hands down, playing with my brother, and, oh, I need to pot again. God, I'm terrible at that today. Cannot make a commentary and pot. But that is some of the most fun I've had in RuneScape. That was so fun. I've just thought, it just come back to me that prior to then, I was actually in a clan with Cursed You. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the clan, but one of the popular things they did, I remember some of the other names in the clan, someone called Steph Freestyle, who I've seen a long time since then as a mod in-game, like a player mod. I can't really remember many of the names in the clan, but the one of the main things the clan did, apart from Mage Bank PKing, was like Mage Bank luring. So like you'd have someone in like, looks like it's gonna be a free kill to like 2 people in ARAMs, and then you just run them across either into the agility area where it's multi, or across the other way towards the Hellhounds where it's multi, and then everyone would just pile them. And to get into that clan, I needed a 94 magic requirement. And I'd actually gone on holiday to Florida, and I can't even remember how old I was at this point, but I'd gone on holiday to Florida, and when I got back, I alked for like 5 straight days for 94 mage to get into that clan, and alking for 5 straight days is not fun, not one bit. I used to alk at the, like, I alked where there's no randoms. I believe it was at the Jewel Arena, like I'd stand on top and just watch. Sometimes I'd alk next to Edgeville Wildy just to watch people fight. Like, normally you can't watch, obviously, the rune fights, because they had, like, towards like level 4, level 5, but you could watch like all the pures fighting, or the lower levels fighting towards like the level 1, level 2 wildy Edgeville, so that was all fun. But that was something else that I did quite a lot as well. Right, so after doing a lot of pure PKing with my brother, I remember Simon as well wanted to join in. So he started making his account, and like 3 days into him starting making his account and started working on myth gloves, that was the point at which that dreadful day came. I can't even remember the date exactly. Something tells me it's the 12th of December 2007. I'm not 100% sure. But I remember going into the Wildy and you couldn't attack people. And I was like, what? and instead they had replaced it all with the bounty hunter creators. The bounty hunter creators had like the low, medium, and high level, and it was terrible in comparison to what the wilderness was before. They'd removed free trade, all that kind of stuff, and it really just didn't work. That's Abyssal Whip spec for fun. I didn't bring an EDS because I wanted to AFK, and you can't Dragon Dagger while you're AFK normally. Can't be bothered to, at least. So, like, they removed the wilderness, and that kind of literally, as a pure, just kind of owned you. If you weren't at that, like, top tier combat for the portal, for the, like, the low level creator, which I believe was level, like, 67, 68 combat, then you were, like, useless, because everyone else in there would just own you. And, like, overall, it just wasn't really anywhere near as much fun whatsoever. I did PK quite a lot on my main in the Bounty Hunter creators, but, like, my main at the time, but, like, on the whole, it just really wasn't that enjoyable. For those who don't know, my account, RuneShark, that was originally 45 defense with 99 strength. Like, that's the stats I had. And that was, I did most of that at pest control. The old school pest control. Old school pest control was one of the best things ever. Like, I really wish they'd bring back pre-update pest control into the old school RS, because it was just, like, so much nicer. Like, you join a clan, they would, like, announce, you go on their forums, they'd announce a world, and they'd change it every now and again, and you just run in, take out the 4 portals, and you got 1 point. And it was just, like, quite nice. I just much prefer it in comparison to the kind of stand-up portals and wait for a while, just because they're deliberately slowing it down, but then giving you more points. I don't know what their reason for the change actually was, but I did just much more enjoy the old school pest control, where you'd kind of run in, like, a quarter of the boat would run to each portal, and you just, like, own it, and then, like, you're out, and you'd start again. And, you know, if you're in, like, a good clan, you had, like, look, another plant. They come every 10 minutes. Swear to God. Then, if you're in a good clan, then you could get, like, good XP per hour, and it wasn't, like, super OP XP per hour. Like, you weren't really getting hit points XP, but you were getting, like, obviously a decent amount of, like, combat XP that you were assigned in. Like, you have people that call, like, a pest control prod because they had, like, no hit points XP. I'm gonna run away from that plant. I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, so then, right, so since then, we had the Grand Exchange implemented into the game. Now, the Grand Exchange brought a new era for both me and Simon, and we took merchanting, which we used to do a lot, to a whole new level. So, with the merchant I used to do before, I then kind of turned that into merchanting with the Grand Exchange. Now, this was before you had the buy and sell offer, like, limits of, like, 10. So, like, I believe it's still the same right now. If I want to buy Darok's axes, I can only buy a maximum of 10 every 4 hours. At this point in time, you could buy up to 100 every 4 hours. And so, I remember, like, I would be there, like, people would always complain that they couldn't make money. And, like, in that day, I would buy, my usual thing would be, before I go to school, I would put my offers in. I'd put my offers in overnight, see if it quickly sell in the morning. If it didn't, then I put more buy offers in throughout the day, and then all I'd do is be buying all day and waiting for the point at which it was the evening. The evening was the busiest time, and you can usually get the best price. Now, like, on a really good day, I could over the kind of the night and the day, I could buy something like 200 Bezzy rings, and then you could probably make about 70k profit on each, and so you make an absolute bank. I'd do the same with, like, so many items, Zami spears, like, mages books, like, whatever, barrows pieces, and because you could buy 100, you could make so much money. Like, that was a point I was probably, like, the wealthiest ever in the game, and then, with that money, there was, like, me and Simon we both did the same thing. We both, like, share the items that we're doing that day. We'd always never, like, undercut each other, or overcut each other, or whatever with sell offers. So we'd always just be like, yeah, like, Bezzy rings are really good at the minute because they've just come off, like, a big dropping streak. They're going up slightly, and so would buy it, like, just over med, and then sell 60k over med, like, later in the day. And, like, between us, we made, like, so much money doing that because it was something we both really enjoyed. And that was the point at which we both had Divine, Elysian each, all that kind of good stuff. And this was at the same time I was in a clan called God Wars Incorporated, and was made, like, co-leader. And eventually, Simon was Simon's story. You've probably heard about on podcast. Simon talk about how he got hacked. He was hacked. This was, I don't know if this was before Bankpin. I can't even remember. I don't think so. I'm not even sure. Simon was hacked originally for all of his goods, like all of his items. Pretty much, they dropped everything he had. Like even all those untradables, the Greegrees, like everything he had, they dropped everything. Kingdom the lot. Like he got so owned by that one hack. It was just like horrific. And I remember exactly how it happened now. It was in the God Wars Incorporated clan. One of the admins or something on the forums was giving out the IP addresses, and like 6 people like simultaneously were hacked for a lot of money. I don't really know what went on or whatever, blah blah blah, but regardless, that happened to Simon. I, on the other hand, I decided this was a point that I wanted to quit the game. I didn't want to invest any more of my life into it necessarily. Like, and you know, I'd look at it now and think, like, in my spare time, if I could do 2 things, and one of those things is playing RuneScape, and the other thing, let's just call it X, right? Let's say that X gives me like 10 happiness per hour, and RuneScape gives me 12 happiness per hour, then like, why shouldn't I play it? That's something that you always have to question. Like when people say like, oh, you still play this game? It's like, well, yeah, I have fun playing it. I enjoy playing it. I love playing it. And that's why at the minute I play 07. I find it over 100 times more enjoyable and more fun. And so I'm going to play it over the live game, because why would I waste my time having less fun in a way? And so like eventually when they release RS3, this will get boring eventually. RS3 will become the more appealing option over time. Who knows what will happen? But I decided at that point I wanted to quit, and rather than just like, you know how RS goes. You try and quit, you fail, you come back, you play a shit ton, you get bored, you want to quit, you quit for a while, you miss it a little bit, then you come back, and then you play loads again, and because you played so much, you get bored. You know, it's like it's for me at least. Over the years I played, that has been like a never-ending cycle. But at this point, I didn't want to come back, so I wanted to quit. So I went to the wilderness, and I just went and died for everything I had. Absolutely everything I had. I just went and died for it. And then within about 6 months, I was back, and I was went to Barrows with like no gear. Then got myself a full Vorax set from the items. Then went to Saradomin, got some hilt splits with my friends. And, you know, you're kind of slowly on your way back to where you started. That always happens. It always does. And then, like, I'm glad I did, because, like, ultimately, when I got bored, I was like, my brother made a Bandos guide, and I randomly looked at it one day, and it was on my YouTube account. He didn't have his own YouTube account, so we just uploaded it to my YouTube account, which I'd made at the time. This was uploaded in around, like, 2008, very early 2008. And I came and looked at it. I don't know when I actually looked at it. It might have been sometime in around late 2010. I looked at it, and it had 250,000 views. And that kind of just, like, I saw that number, and I was just like, wow, 250,000 people watched my brother's Bandos guide, which was, you know, it was way better than anything else out there, because my brother he's very skilled when it comes to computers and that kind of thing. He does a computer science degree right now. Like, he's very skilled with software, code, all that kind of stuff. And so he'd managed to make the video good quality, the right resolution, no black lines. But as far as the in-game guide goes, it was pretty shoddy in terms of, like, the play. And yet it had, like, such good ratings, so nice comments. And I was like, I want to give this a go. I want to make my own video. So the first video I ever made was a TD's guide. And in it was on the channel. It wasn't on this channel or anything like that. I don't even have it anymore. If I still had it, I would upload it for you guys just to see. And at the very start, I didn't know what to say to start the video. So I said, hi, YouTubers. And and it sounded so bad. Like, that intro. And Simon's like not bullied me, teased me about that and my brother for so long since. I remember watching it myself thinking, what was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking saying that? It's like sounded so bad, and I said it so bad, like, hi YouTubers. I have no idea what was going through my head, but like, people really enjoyed that video, and On that channel, I built up about 2,000 subscribers in around 3 weeks by making one video like every other day of just random me doing some Slayer or me doing a boss and like showing how I did it. And I really enjoyed doing it. And eventually Simon saw it as well and was like, ooh, that looks like fun. And I was like, how about you help me with a King Black Dragon guide? And he was like, yeah, I'll be in it too. And so we like figured out how to do a dual commentary through Skype with System Audio. At this point, we only had the 30-day free trial of Camtasia. That's what I was using. And I don't know. I really don't know what happened from there, but eventually we decided to make the RuneShark website. Which, like, I still think to this day, that is hands down better than Tippet, RuneHQ, all that, for the things that were completed on that website and how it was done with video guides and everything. But, like, the amount of time it took me and Simon, like, the amount of time me and Simon put into doing that was so long. And, like, we really enjoyed it. And eventually we kind of gave up with it because of the time it took to putting into it. It was just me and Simon. Like, I actually want to find out. I'm going to see right now. Let me just see. Actually, I don't know if it will work. I'm going to try and get you guys. I hope this comes up. Let's just see if I got it. Do I have Dropbox? And so I reinstalled Windows really recently. I'm really hoping this doesn't come up over the screen. Please don't. No, there it is. Right. Where's my Dropbox? I just opened it. I thought I could show you guys some, like, just in case you never saw it, I could show you guys. I know I could go on web.archive and show you, but I went on there recently, and I believe that's all kind of glitched out. Like, it doesn't save everything, so. I don't know, like, it was really enjoyable at the time, and then eventually, when you just takes forever and forever and forever, it gets very boring. And so me and Simon, at the same time, were doing the YouTube, and YouTube was getting some really positive response with the release of Next, and we really, really enjoyed doing it, and so we continued it as a hobby, and that kind of ended up where it is today. I haven't really talked at all while Dropbox still loads and everything. It should have loaded. There we go, it is loaded. It was just in my system tray. So, there is the RuneShark website in here. I'll see if I can drag some screenshots over the screen for you guys. Now, it was never ever finished properly or anything, but it was, like, it was fairly well made. So let me just find something. I'll go on monster hunting. Actually, let's open up the homepage. Can we do that? Where's index.html? There. No, is that it? No. I don't know where it is. Bear with me 1 second. We'll keep killing the Abyssal Demons. I don't have a whip drop yet. Come on. Come on, whip on video. Every time I've like live streams with Abyssal Demons, I've got a whip. I was hoping, if I do this video now and kill Abyssal Demons, rather than play on the live game or something, then I'll get a whip. But it just didn't seem to be. I was thinking about doing the fire cape while I made this video, but maybe I'll do another one where I make a fire cape. Hopefully you guys haven't found it too boring, or you did enjoy it if you did make it to this point. But alright, let's just go on PVM or something, and just click on a random. Hopefully this will load up over that. Yeah, it will. Right, I'm just going to load it up over here. Home. No, I don't have all the files. That's the problem. I don't have all the files. And so, as a result, it doesn't really work properly. Let me just try and open something. No, we'll try one more thing. We're on skill guides. Slayer. Yeah, it doesn't really work properly because all the files are missing. Nope. It's all missing. All the files, a lot of the files are missing, so it doesn't work properly. So, I can't really show you that. We'll try clicking one more, just in case. We'll attack Abyssal Demon. We'll try clicking one more. Yeah, it doesn't really work 100%. But it kind of, like, I will show you, it kind of looked like this. I don't know how much of this you can actually see. It's all glitched out, because I did all this on Photoshop as well. Like, all my channel background and everything for YouTube I made on Photoshop. And I had absolutely zero idea how to use Photoshop or anything like that. And so, I had zero idea how to use Photoshop. One of the best things about this site as well was the gear setups. It had loads of different gear setups. And it's not there. It's like not added in there. A lot of it's missing. But, you know, overall, like I said, it was a lot of work and became more of a chore than enjoyment. And it was done for enjoyment. So eventually we stopped doing it. And I should pot again. Again, I forget to pot. Though I should probably wrap this up at some point. I didn't really talk much about my real life or anything like that. Most of you guys already know most of the story about my real life. So, like, obviously I went to school. One of the things, whenever someone asks me, like, questions about school and stuff, in like a live stream. I've always said like I don't really have any life experience or not much, but I guess rune chain. I am, I guess, older than like a lot of people that might be watching, and so one of the things I've always said that the one thing I wish I had really done better was try at school early on. So I tried to do well at school later on in my life, but like early on, I kind of didn't really care. Like around, if you're in England, you're at the GCSE level. I never really cared that much. I didn't do any revision or anything like that, and that's like one of my biggest regrets. Like doing that, not trying important exams like that is like the stupidest thing you could have ever done. Because when I got to the point where I wanted to apply for university, I was like, the one place I want to go is to Nottingham University. Like, that was my main choice. It was, like, very highly rated for economics, the subject I wanted to do. It was, like, very highly rated, I believe, 5th at the time in the UK, which was just, obviously, if you're in the UK, it goes Oxford, Cambridge. Like, it's, like, the best for everything. And then in London, there was LSE and UCL. And I looked around some of those, like, the ones in London, and I didn't, you know, it's like I didn't even want to apply. I just didn't want to at that point go to university in London. I wanted to go to a campus university, so I applied to things like Warwick, Nottingham University and stuff, and Nottingham was the university that I wanted to go to because I don't know, I just went around it and I thought it looked so nice. I just really wanted to go there, and so I applied through UCAS like you do to all 5 universities, and they were the first university the next day to decline me. And I wanted to know why, so I rang them up and said why, and they said your GCSE results just didn't contain enough A stars. And like at this point, I had 4 full A levels. Like I did an extra A level in my, like instead of taking 3 periods, I did an extra A level, as did Simon, and quite a few people at school. So I took further maths as well as maths, and then just like did full in like the full of one in one year, then the full of the other one in the second year. So like took an extra subject and got an A in everything, which at the time was now you can get an A star, but I got an A, which was the highest grade. And no, I think I can mute that. There we go. So like I got the highest grade in every single one of them, and they still rejected me just based on the fact that earlier on in my life I didn't really give a shit. And like that affected me. Like I was like so upset about that. And then like I did actually get accepted into like a few. Obviously I went to Exeter, and look, it turned out amazingly, because obviously at the time my girlfriend had also applied to, she wanted to go to either Exeter or somewhere else, and then chose Exeter as well. And you know, we're still together, blah blah blah, you guys know all that. Like it worked out really well. Like I had the time of my life at university. I really did. Like when it came to graduating and stuff, it was like such a horrible time, because I spent a lot of that summer with my friends like at uni. I'm like, we didn't obviously want to leave, and it's like leaving university is like one of the worst things, because it's like that's it, it's over. It's now like on to kind of, there is no more studying. It's on to kind of like the real world, or obviously post grad if you want to, or whatever. But by not trying at earlier life, I'd say like that's one. I don't know how I got onto this, but that's the one piece of advice I'd always give out. If you have exams that matter, like do try. And obviously it worked out quite well for me, because I'm going to be working for one of the big 4 in London in the headquarters after doing really well at an internship, and they offered me a job. I deferred it for the year to take the gap year out, and I went to California, as I spoke about earlier on in the video. A lot of people have always asked, how will taking that job, etc., affect the YouTube? And, you know, it's obviously going to have a big impact on YouTube as a whole. So at the point of, let's say, 4 months ago, I was making videos at the point of like 1 or 2 RuneScape videos every day with Simon, and 3 Minecraft videos every day. That takes up, so people will think like, to record that video probably took you like, it's like 7 minutes long, probably took you like 7 minutes, then uploaded it. And you're like, no. Like, if that took 7 minutes, even if it was a video which required not much editing or anything, it would take at least 45, at least. And that's a video which requires nothing other than just recording like a one-shot thing like this. So you think like, this video might be an hour long. It will take an hour, and then you're done. No, this video right here to render, if it doesn't crash because it's so long, will take at least an hour to render, and then at least, like on my internet right now, it's pretty good, but at least half an hour to upload, I'd say. No, because it's RS, maybe like 20 minutes, but like it takes like a long time. It does honestly take a long time, and so when I'm working, what will be like my hours are 9 till 5, but I'm working for one of the big four in the headquarters in London. It's not a job which I'm gonna like half-ass and be like, yeah, I'm rolling at like 10 to 9 and I'm like out, but 5 I'm out of here. It's a job that for 3 years I'm gonna be doing 80% work and then 20% university still to try and qualify for just like the relevant, like I can't remember the exact, like I thought it was the SEMA, but it's not. I can't remember the codes. It's been ages since I've even bothered looking because I'm on my gap year. Why would I care? But like to get all that done and stuff, I'm gonna have to put in a lot of effort, a lot of revision, a lot of work, and obviously I want to try hard. Main reason being is that the one reason as well that I'm taking this job, not only because it's in a field that I'm kind of interested in, it's also a job at which is at a company that if I do well, okay, they will give me the opportunity to work wherever I want in the world, and they'll sponsor me for a visa wherever I want in the world. They have an office in practically every major city in the world without fail. And so like to get into America, I've tried, I've applied, I've looked, it's almost impossible. I have no direct family over there, I have no relatives over there, nothing. And so it's like a complete lottery and it's almost impossible. The waiting list for someone like me, if I want to just apply from the waiting list, is like 9 years. I'm not waiting 9 years. So if I do well, they will, like, I have the opportunity effectively to kind of within reason move somewhere I want in the world. And so I'm going to be working so hard at it. And as a result, it is going to affect YouTube without a doubt. But hopefully it won't affect YouTube any more than the amount that me and Simon have played over the last couple of weeks, where we've been doing mainly I've just been playing old school RS and Simon's just been busy in general with a lot of real life things. Like, there will obviously be nowhere near as amount of videos, but hopefully there will still be videos and I will still interact with you guys, do live streams and that kind of thing. Like, that said though, I can't really say, like, who really knows, and, you know, I've kind of refrained talking about it because, obviously, it's a depressing thing to talk about for you guys. If you really enjoy the stuff I make, then you don't want to hear that I might not be making it anywhere near as frequently or whatever, but I thought I might as well just, you know, while we're in this video, talking about random general goings on and all that kind of crap, I thought I might as well. Sorry, I just got a Skype message from who now. He said, finally some luck. Oh, we got 2 whips in one trip. Oh, I wish I could do that in this trip. I'm coming towards the end though. 1 superset left out of 8 supersets I bring. So, oh, 7. I don't know. Actually, I'm not bringing 7 to be honest. Anyway, any other things I actually got planned? There is one other thing that I'm currently in the stages of looking at and planning, and that's one final holiday before I kind of start my job. It's a holiday I wanted to take with Simon. We haven't planned anything at the minute, so I can't say what it's going to be. But like we are looking at like going together for like, you know, a last holiday with my best friend before he has to do his final year of uni, and I have to obviously go to work and stuff. When between us we'll never have this free time again. So we thought, while my girlfriend's at work and stuff, might as well make the most of it and ideally go on some cool holidays. So we haven't even planned it yet, but hopefully it'll be some pretty cool, epic big trip. Obviously somewhere in America. Because it's me and Simon, where else would we go? But yeah, no plans on that. Anyway, this video is actually past an hour mark now, and you probably found it very boring. I have no idea. I've just been talking at a mic for a long time, rambling about general crap, and anything really. So I didn't even talk about my account. My other accounts kind of. Actually, I know I did tell you guys that I wanted to get the live stream, the Barrows Loves and stuff with more of a schedule. But other than that, I haven't really told you very much. But I guess I should wrap it up there. If you're one of the people that asked for this video, then I do hope you enjoyed. If you would like me to do another one at some point, then I guess I'm more than happy to. I actually kind of enjoyed just talking about random stuff, so I guess I'm more than happy to do another one. If you would like me to do another one and you made it this far, then feel free to ask some questions in the description, in the chat, in the comments. And I will maybe answer those, or look over them, find some out, and answer those kind of big questions or things in my next one if I do another one, if this one goes down well. But guys, until next time, I shall see you soon.